All right, I'm back. Yeah, a few questions in the chat. Actually, on the baking, Lena, there on the baking questions. One way to bake multi-part meshes nicely is to um, uh, make a morph target or something where they're blown up, so you kind of have moved the parts stuff apart and bake that, uh, if that makes sense. Um, let's make a quick example, super quick. Box. Oh, freak out. Ah, whoop. What happened here? Um, not what I was after. New, don't save. Tab, box, and a cylinder. Tube. Yeah. So if you had um, on the baking question, um, oops. If you have a mesh that looks like this and you want to bake it cleanly without, getting bleeding and stuff like that. Uh, One way to do that is to, after you made the UVs and everything, you move it apart like this, and bake it. And then you apply the texture to the mesh that's, of course, like it's supposed to be, like this. Um, that's kind of the basic method for me. Um, I'm freaking out on my Wacom settings here. I need to actually reinstall my Wacom. Firefox, Wacom. I don't like I like try to be a peaceful person, but sometimes I just hate Microsoft a lot. Drivers. Drivers. Mm, accept. I'm sorry for the delay here, but yeah, like small things can make you go really crazy if you don't fix them. I work like 90% with the. Okay, fuck it. I want to restart now. I have to use the mouse. I use for 90% of my work. I use tablet. I use tablet for 20 years. I never had a mouse arm, like the tennis elbow or anything. So I think, from my personal experience, that it's not scientifically proven or anything, but for me, working with a tablet is probably more ergonomic. I don't know. It's not based on research. It's just based on my own personal experience. Okay. Um, so what I want to do now is to create another kind of little gray box environment scene, which I want you all to do for this week. So this is the main objective for this week, is to make a little gray boxed environment, and I would recommend it to be like a third person walk around thing. Then if you want to make it look good or just work from one angle, fine. But still, it's still games we're after. So I will start now. And for this one, I will make an indoor indoor environment. Yes, because it's kind of manageable, you know, and scale is cool, but for the people that feel a little worried, it's good to have something kind of, and an indoor can be really complex too. It's not like that, but anyway, I will start puref, and I will load Bradbury. Oh, it's not okay. Go in here. Or let's do something brighter. Okay, I want to be challenged. So write some propositions for an environment to look at in the chat. I mean, um, uh, please write some advice. I will try because it's a challenge. I want to show that you know, you can work with anything, and it's not hard to be. I mean, the workflow of an artist, it can be kind of, you know, hard to grasp, but still you can apply a method that can get you going in any case. You know, even if you're not like um, you know, totally inspired, you know, just stalagmite tight. Okay, yeah, a cave. Stalagmite cave. Um, yeah. This one is really cool. This one is really cool. This one is cool. This one. Yeah, this one with the lake is really cool. Freaky. Freaky. I actually been in one of the world's largest caves like this in former Yugoslavia. Um, it was used as a weapons storage by the Nazis during the Second World War, and some of the resistance movement managed to sneak in and blow it all up. So like huge caves that were completely black. Not the whole thing, but the like a whole section of it was completely black. Still, like 50 years later. Um, okay, that's good. Let's make a new. Um, so this is all part of the lesson. This is all part of the workflow. So now I got an assignment to do a stalagmite cave. Um, and I will approach it the way I would a professional assignment. So I will go back here and I will do all my tabs here. Um, copy paste some reference and like this. I don't care so much about the resolution now, I'll just copy and paste them. And for PureF, middle mouse is panning inside the document and right button is moving the entire window, which is I always forget. And C key, like a Z, is the or the wheel is C, and left button is the zoom, or mouse wheel if you have that. Oops. Yep. make something nice. I mean, mood boards should be something inspiring. So make something like a. It's like I really enjoy uh, like taping stuff to my walls and kind of uh, it's kind of making an environment for yourself that is speaking in the same language. So if you have a certain topic uh, or kind of inspiration, just print images if you have the printer. Um, this one is my favorite, I think. Yeah. So this is also like a Microsoft thing that they put. You can't get rid of this, like a always on top uh, note here. Uh, all right, all right, all right, all right. This one. Pure ref. Okay, maybe this one. All right. Um, for this one, sometimes when you do like a kind of a natural environment, of course you want to use a landscape tools. Um, Maybe we'll have time to go into landscape materials, but that's a really complex topic, so maybe also we don't do that. But I'll cover the basics of landscapes anyway. Um, okay, so we're in Unreal, and I will start to like decide on how big I think this is, and I would say that from where I stand to the darkest part over here, I want it to be maybe 200 meters. Um, so I will make a landscape that's maybe like around 300 times, or maybe like 400 times 400 meters. And to make a landscape, which is a sculptable plane, the way I will use it here, um, I go into the modes, which recently moved over here, and I will go into landscape like that. And then you get the preview landscape like this, and it's quite big. It's too big for my taste. It has a scale here, which you can use to change the scale. So if you want a really high-res thing, but one is small, you can change the scale. Um, you can calculate the size exactly, but I mean the easiest way to get the reference, the way I would do it at least, is to first go in here and get the box, because I know the box is always like 1 times 1. Zero it out, and I will do 400 times 400, and maybe, yeah, 1 is good. So here I have a like 400 times 400 field. So then I go back into landscape, and I will just scale this guy down a little bit to match this 80. All right. Then I can create landscape, and I will delete the cube like that. Increase my speed a little bit. And all these kind of grid lines and all that, they will disappear the first time you bake the light, so don't worry. Also this guy, the kind of ring that's here, is the effect of the spherical reflection capture. So that took me a while to figure out. Spherical reflection capture. So either you can delete it for now, or if you want it, just increase the radius of it, so it doesn't make a line like this in your where you're standing. Just a quick note on reflection captures. They are hierarchical, meaning that they can If you have a large reflection capture like this, and you duplicate that, Control W, and you scale it down, go into select mode, or decrease the radius rather. Then it would not conflict, it will complement. So if you're inside the large one only, you will get the large reflection, and if you get inside this one, it will make a smooth transition into the more accurate one. So that's the way to work with reflections. If you have not non-ray traced reflections, you make kind of a hierarchy, like one large reflection capture covering all the scene, and then kind of smaller reflection captures along your path where as necessary. Okay, I will actually delete them all. So let's decide where to start. Let's start in the middle. Move this up a little bit. Oops. And decrease the speed a little bit. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so we will not depend so much on the landscape mesh. It's just nice to have something, and I will make like a just like a quick kind of uneven, just smooth the. I don't want this kind of straight horizon, so I will just kind of modify that a bit. Oops. So here also shift this down, and smooth, you have to select the smooth brush. Sculpt. Yes, get a little some base to work from. And why not, since we have water here, let's make a little beach. We could actually do this. We go into select mode and we take a big plane. Plane. Place it on 0. And we scale it up a bit. Quite large maybe. And I'll move the entire landscape down. No, I will actually take the plane, scale it very large for now, 50 or even 100, 200 maybe, like that. And then I will go back to the landscape like this, and I will hold down shift, and I will go, where's my plane? Scaled negatively. So the negative scale had flipped it. So now I'm making kind of a lake thing here. I think this one is really cool with the lake and all the stalagmites and stalactites and stuff. So let's take the play start, go to select, and move it back over here. World settings, game mode override, and again, world settings tab is found under Windows, world settings, and you can tab it here. I will do third person, and I will play. Oops. I moved something else over there. Play start. And X, red arrow is forward, so let's go with that. And now we're here. And I mean, the first thing you want to do, of course, is to get rid of kind of the white paper. I mean, if you're drawing a model or something, you want to start getting some kind of lines down to have something. You need to create the first references. Even if they're wrong, the references will help you, see what's right. So okay, um, let's start here. Okay, next thing I would do, stalactite, stal, oops, or something. Would be to make a few kind of my gray box assets, and for this lesson I want to do that in ZBrush. So I will go into ZBrush. Um, uh, fuck, Wacom. Tablet driver is not responding. Thank you. And I don't want to. Okay, I will do it in. I will do it with the mouse in ZBrush, which is really weird. But okay, so I will go away from this. Go take a cone or something. I'll go to white paint. Shift to ZBrush with mouse is like, you know, painting with the middle of your hand. Anyway, let's have a look. Yeah, I want to make some of these spike guys to work with. So I'll start by just scaling this guy up a little bit. I will make a polymesh. I will make a dynamesh. Geometry. I have it up here. Dynamesh. Um, Not to spend too much time here. You can do the shift control to clone stuff in ZBrush, and that will mask. It will remain in the same tool, but it will mask the previous stuff. So only the new one is moving. But as soon as you clone again or demask by control dragging like this, you will have the whole thing again. And for our purpose here, that is quite useful. There's one technique that I call hand fractaling. I made that up, so you probably won't find it if you Google. But hand fractaling to me is you make one asset like this, or one piece of mesh, and then you clone that again, rotate it a bit, like this, maybe move it a little bit, maybe scale it a little bit, like that, and then you take away the mask, and you take this whole thing, shift control, and I will actually unlock the mesh here, and I will reset the rotation like that, and I will press Control Shift to clone it again, rotate it a little bit, scale it a little bit, have a look at it, move it a little bit like this. And hand fractaling to me is now I will not take the whole thing, I will only take this guy. Shift Control, drag again, scale it down. Hand fractaling to me is like a really easy way to not use code and still get a lot of complexity. It's perfect for making skylines or, you know, branching structures, pretty much whatever. And this might not, you know, become my final asset, but usually the stuff I make like this will still end up being used as will be as a base for my final pieces. Alright, I'm happy with this one for now, so I will demask it and I will just export it straight out. One thing you can do to get predictable scale, not the right scale, but predictable scale in ZBrush and all that, is to go into deformation and do unify. and that will put the mesh inside a 1x1 box. Boom. And also if you had your pivot going away, it will all be centered and all that. So I'll take this guy and I will export it. FBX export. Yeah, sure. Export FBX folder. Stalag dummy 001. Usually use numbers for serials for stuff I do, and letters for variants. So if I'm making 3 different variants, they will have different letters, like stalagram A, like that. I'm gonna look here. Maybe I will make something a bit more shallowy, like this too. What's going on? Ah, crash. It's my day. ZBrush. And I mean, of course, you could make, especially Greybox dummies. I mean, you could easily make them in any software. Okay, go away. Cone, lightbox, go away. That, Shift T. And for this one, I will make polymesh, subtool, no, geometry, dynamesh it. And if you don't want like high res dynamesh here, you want low res. So let's go like 32, and sometimes you have to paint on it a bit. Yeah, better, because I want to smooth the top. I want it to be more like yeah, like these kind of uh, parts here. Uh, and I will actually sculpt a bit on it. Alt key to just get it in like this a bit. And you decide how much you want to spend on this. Like it shouldn't be too much. I mean, there's no like um, fixed limit. Um, so quick and good is the rule. I mean, and also if you want to add like an original, and if you have, you can just go here to subtool. You could append another cone. Um, and you have to go there. Solo, to not get confused. Unsolo to see the other ones. Scale it a bit like this. Have a look at the reference. And then to make them go together, I will do merge down. Also in the in the subtools tab, merge down. Okay. Dynamesh everything. Smooth the top a bit. Ah, ZBrush with the mouse like that is not fun. Yeah, something like this. Um, Maybe get out of the Dynamesh mode. Do another merge down. And append another cone. Maybe a cylinder, just for a change. Yeah, get that. Wait, uncheck this guy. Scale up a bit. Yeah, you get the point. I mean, Dynamesh 32. Q is the key for sculpt. Even lower, 16. So sometimes you need to touch the mesh for the Dynamesh to work. And smooth is very powerful, but you need to be at the right resolution. Um, Also, like my favorite tools in ZBrush are, or like brushes to be correct. Press B and trim dynamic TD. Um, you can get the intensity up, get the size up. For trim dynamic, you usually want a really big size. Um, maybe just to get some more. This was too much. Take it down. And now I went against my own rules. To make hard stuff, I usually don't combine smooth and trim dynamic because smooth will take away kind of nice features of trim dynamic. Uh, yeah. Yeah, sure. Like that. I will duplicate this guy with the move tool and shift control drag, rotate, scale, move it down a bit, and go again. Shift control, move it a bit, scale it a bit, move it a bit. Maybe scale it down. Yeah, something like this. This would be a ground piece. Merge down. So now here's our tool, and it's like 15,000 points, which is usually around a bit more in triangles, but it doesn't matter. I'll just keep it like this and export it. FBX export. Work folder, FBX, and it will be. I wonder where I put the other one. Probably in textures folder. Stalag B001. Stalag dummy. I try to be consistent with naming just for myself. You know, it helps a lot to, you know, your confusion and my confusion. Let's see if I find that guy in the textures folder. Um, no. I'll export it again. Where is it? Hmm. Can I search here? Stalag dummy A. Now Bing. Fuck you. Stalag dummy A. There it is. Oh, it's supposed to be there. Hmm. Hmm. I can't see it. Weird. Still like dummy A. Copy maybe. Uh, Somehow it disappeared. I don't know why. Okay, whatever. I'll make another one. Actually, I will not. I will just. Yeah, it crashed. That was it. Ah, whatever. I will go with this one. Import. FBX, and I mean computers crashing, it happens. You know, I used to be like really, I used to be able to like trash my desk with my keyboard when it happened, but nowadays I just get a little sad and I keep working. Uh, Still like dummy B, open it, import, yeah. And for this one, for like kind of the quick workflow, I will do I will adjust the scale on the import settings. So I'll double click this guy to get the static mesh editor. Um, I will put a mannequin here, or actually a third person character, and I will scale this one without the snap. Okay, maybe bigger. 0.5, something like that. I will do that in the import settings, static mesh, import, import settings, import scale, 50 instead of 100, and re-import base mesh like that. And this one will go to 1. So, okay. Um, so here we are. And I will go like pretty much just copy and paste. So here's like holding down Alt key, rotating, moving, scaling, um, and also like trying to get the big shapes out first. So if we have a look here, this is the one, this is the way. Um, we want this the kind of roof or ceiling in. So I'll actually make I will sculpt a more rounded shape too. Um, and for that I will start with the cone again. Make polymesh, scale it down, scale it up, and trim dynamic perhaps. Trim dynamic. Uh, Dynamesh. Same as before, like that. And pretty much just get the way of this kind of regular, two regular um, shape. Maybe I'll do unify because the scale is a bit off. Um, I mean, you never want to be at the limits of the or the extremes of your software, or never, but I mean, usually the tools are designed for some kind of scale range. Um, okay, trim dynamic. Another one is clay buildup. It's very powerful to um, to really like change the shape of something, and also leave these marks everywhere. Um, which is good. Uh, Move is also very important. Brush MV, big brush, and just gonna move it down a bit. Clay buildup again, smaller brush. I don't know. Yeah, getting some definition in there. This will do, I think. Actually, I want to move up the edges a bit so I can use it more. Uh, bit more depth. Yeah, something like this. Clay buildup and some really low intensity. Yeah, this is good. Export this one. Export. I mean, usually I would spend a little more time. Um, stalag, ceiling, part A. And I will import it. Oh, not here. In meshes. And maybe, I mean, if I started a big project, I would probably have a subfolder for these kind of dummy meshes. Like that. Import. Here's an island. Start by flipping it 180. Check my reference. So big part here. Alt key and drag. And I will scale it up quite a bit. Maybe like that. Maybe flatten it a bit. And I will also do this one over here, like the one coming all the way down. I'll use the same piece here. So maybe over here. F. I mean, same here. Now I'm just kind of following the reference a little bit, but to me, like reference is inspiration, not prison. Also, get the ground here, 180. Um, move it up, scale it down, scale it out, kind of like that. More of this. Oops. Um, some more of these kind of islands, kind of the ending of this lake. take this part, Alt key, duplicate it. And like for me, usually, landscape, I mean, one reason I haven't really, I can do, I mean, complex landscapes materials, of course, but usually I end up making static meshes for uh, most uh, most of what is visible in the end. So I just pretty much use landscape for um, I mean to get some base base shape down, uh, and then it's usually covered with foliage or static meshes. One thing with I mean landscapes are always, but usually based on height maps, so they're like one-dimensional detail, um, height only. So if you want to make like cliffs and stuff like that, and you can't get good definitions on sharp or like steep cliffs. Um, and it's getting some. The challenge is not to get caught up in detail. So, um, but to make the room. I mean, so I will just use these guys to make a complete ceiling. Maybe move it up a little bit. Rotate it, why not? And I will use something here to just cut it off at the end. Sometimes I used to play just to get back to the starting point of the scene. And now I will just kind of cover ground. I will not even use reference. I will just try to seal the place off, and then I will start to work on the lighting a bit. Um, Oops. Scale. I mean, so using some people don't use keyboard shortcuts, but that over time, over a year, if you go up here and click every time, you will waste a lot of time. I mean, usually, as one thing I learned with sculpting, or is that don't rush it. I mean, be patient. Sometimes you look at way too many time lapse. Movies, you think you have to work really fast to be good, and that's not true. I mean, uh, if you make, if you think on it and go easy and don't rush it, just have a relaxed pace. Don't make time lapse. Obviously, scale is a time lapse, so it's sped up. Um, yeah. And for games, I mean, it's really worth the while to spend time on your assets later, because if you make one rock that can use everywhere, it's time well spent. Then rather than make it look good from every angle. Uh, if you make a like a visual effects shot or something and only want a rock for one thing, then maybe spend less time on it. Uh, but for games asset, spend the amount of time needed to make for instance, a rock look good from every angle, because then you can use it so much, and it's not even only a data time save. Data save is a time save because you don't have to go and switch, find another asset. It's just some assets get magical. I mean, uh, I have one rock that a friend of mine made, and I've used it so much. I mean, it's been in like hundreds or thousands of places. Um, okay, so now I'm quite happy with this, with the ceiling and all that. Um, so I will actually take all these guys uh, and put them in a group. Stalag dummies. Stalag like that. I will take away the atmospheric fog and I've used that. I will take away the light source. Yes. This one says it's linked, and that's because I have deleted the sky sphere and it's linking to it. So if you don't want that, delete the sky sphere first and then delete light source. Play start I want, skylight actually I won't, but I will put a specified cube map here and I'll use this one. And I will put it to movable and then I will get the direct effect in the scene. So this is a bit more what I'm after. If I'm using this as a reference, I'll probably go about putting some point lights in here. Take up the affecting range a bit, attenuation range, move it a little bit, increase the intensity way beyond this. The only way to adjust it smooth is to if you have large numbers, is to have a number that's well a bit larger than you need. Then go to the color and you can adjust it just smoothly here to find exactly the right um, intensity to it. And I really like this. I mean, just the real-time feedback on adjusting the light, color, and intensity. Bit hard. Oops, lost it. Point light. Lighting is really fun. I mean, lighting is one of the things that are truly real time. Maybe not if you bake, of course, but I mean, to get, I mean, this could be a decent Greybox environment. If you hand this in on Friday, I mean, it's quite cool. It's a start. Um, Now I'm not working with the reference. I'm just kind of playing. I mean, I really encourage you to try extreme scanner lighting. If say for instance, you want to light is the best way to guide the eye of the player. So if I would make this first one, I will call this kind of point of interest or something. Point of interest. So this is the uh, where the player is supposed to go. Then I would maybe use that color as a key for that, and I will use the other kind of the blue color to light everything else. And also like lower intensity on the blue guys. Because contrast is always, you know, getting the attention of humans. So if you have, if everything is moving and one thing is still, then you will look at the one thing that's different. And same if everything is still and one thing is moving, you will look at that. And same with if everything is blue and one thing is red, you will kind of get that. I'll save this color because I like it, and then I will should switch another color. I will take down the intensity of the skylight to like 0.2. Color operation somewhere. Save everything. Where is my color thing? Yeah. And also, I don't want any lights behind the player because I want a silhouette. Take this down. Something is very bright. I mean, maybe you can sort stuff by type here. So that light is there. Here's one light. Skylight I will actually delete altogether. Maybe maybe I have some built lights. So I will actually do this trick. Go into world settings, light mask settings, force no pre-computed lighting. Okay, and I will build. So now all my built lighting is gone from the old setup. Quite cool. I want to have some more of this blue stuff, and maybe move the play start back. And maybe now we moved out of the kind of the stalactite mission here, but same here, like getting a few decent meshes, scaling, rotating, trying to find the actual feeling of the scene, okay, and the crucial uh, aspects to it. We need some of these guys in the ceiling, um, like that. Uh, Maybe move them here. Um, yeah, man. To me, maybe and this is kind of bordering to how much you want to do it. This is, I mean, to me, there's no like kind of fixed. Uh, I mean, if you're working in a team or with a director or client or something, maybe this would be a point where I would kind of include them. So now I have some idea of like, yeah, this is kind of what I'm after, you know. Uh, so the player comes here, and the other guy's here, and this is kind of what I propose here. Um, I have some collision troubles here, I think. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, this lighting is very stylized, but I don't know. So yeah, at this point, this would be a very nice. I mean, if you gray box and yeah, like this is my idea for the scene. Uh, this is completely fine. This level of detail, or even less. I mean, but the point is not really. The point is to on one part to communicate, be able to communicate your ideas, because words to describe images is very hard. You know, you can say the same words and mean something completely different. Uh, but uh, And I mean, maybe if you wanna, here's my play start. I guess this is my you using light. I mean, to guide the way. Point light. I would definitely save this blue color into my color menu here. I would light the way for the player. You know, maybe a bit more subtle. Uh, do like this. Take it down. Take it down even more. I don't know. Some light to guide the way. Uh, but this is what I would consider a gray box environment. Actually, quite happy with it. And it's nice. Thanks, Samantha, for the stalagmite challenge. And I hope this was kind of valuable. Um, see, it's laggy. Um, if you have, do you have any questions on this approach, or we only did? I think we. Do you have any more questions on the kind of this? This is the kind of assignment for this week, the main topic, and I will go between the actual environment and also try to cover some, kind of asset creation techniques. I mean, the next one we could do a more high-res version of the stalagmite, stalactite, for instance, and take the chance to post your own um, propositions or ideas for what you would like to see, or kind of you wondering how do I make this kind of asset, or um, whatever it could be. Because the course is for you, and I mean, I don't know everything, but I have 20 years of professional experience, so that's a kind of huge well to take from, and you can guide that with your own questions.